Welcome back to the Red Dice Diaries. It's RPG A Day 2017, day 23. And the question for today is, which RPG has the most jaw-dropping layout? Now, for me, again, it's a question of personal opinion, but I'm going to go for this book here, Young Centurions by Evil Hat Publishing. Now, this is a Fate accelerated game based on the Spirit of the Century game that was bought out as one of the, I think it was one of the first Fate core games that came out. Spirit of the Century focuses on heroes who embody a certain aspect of their century, or the best potential for that century, and they fight against various bad guys, including shadows who embody the sins of the previous century, dead and gone. So what is the difference between that and Young Centurions? Well, Young Centurions is basically a similar idea, but you're playing those heroes when they're young, up-and-coming, I suppose, adolescents, really. They're just starting to find their way in the world, just starting to understand their powers in a war-torn setting. The game takes place in the first few decades of the 1900s. So, and it has a sort of pulp adventure feel to it. And the spirits, also known as Spirit Centurions, are a part of are recruited by a society which still has some of the spirits from the previous century, since they're naturally long-lived, working for the betterment of mankind and all that good sort of pulp stuff. And you as young heroes try and foil shadows and various villains in this war-torn 1900s setting. So I won't go into more detail about it, so if I say it's a very easy system to play since it's based on Fate Accelerated, and all of the characters have an aspect and a stunt which is a little more powerful than normal and involves the type of spirit they are. So let's say if I'm the spirit of inventiveness, I might have a stunt that allows me to cobble together crazy super science gadgets, and that aspect, spirit of inventiveness, which I can use to help me repair things, fix things, make things, etc, etc. I could have a spirit of daring, in which case I might have a stunt related to piloting a biplane, or athleticism, and my aspect would help me whenever I got involved with anything that was suitably daring and pulp. But this video is mainly about the layout. Now, as you can see, if I hold this up, the layout doesn't have massive sort of whiz-bangery to it. However, it's a very simple and elegant layout. You have these nice sort of Art Deco almost box outs containing rules and little quotes. There's lovely artwork throughout. There's a piece there, and there's a picture of Sally Slick, the Spirit Centurion, there. And there's Amandine Leclerc, a Century Society retainer. And all of the artwork throughout the book has this similar sort of stylized cartoon style feel, which works really well with the pulp feel of the game. The layout, similar to the Fate core books, is in a single column style, which is absolutely fine because it's in this sort of American digest size. The font used for the titles is stylized but not too distracting, and in general it's a very clean and very clear layout. There's another great piece of artwork there. The artwork and the layout work together to encourage you to continue reading this book. However, they never really distract you from what's going on. There's no having to jump around the place to find out where you should be reading next, or having to try and work out what text says because some artwork's getting in the way or anything like that, which is something I find very frustrating with books. I think if you're looking for a very clear layout in a book, you can't get much better than Young Centurions. Essentially, it takes the very clear layout from the Fate core and Fate accelerated books and just gives it a little thematic tweak, which gets across the idea of the era that you're in. and you can see that on the cover, but it does so in a very subtle way without distracting you from the contents. And for me, that is what makes a really good layout. The ability to hold my interest, pique my interest, and let me go, oh yeah, that's quite clever, but without making me go, oh, I'm just getting annoyed of reading this book and going on to something else. So that's my recommendation for something that has the most jaw-dropping layout, Young Centurions by Evil Hat Publishing. Until I see you next time, take care and happy gaming. And we hope you've enjoyed this video. You'll check out the others on Red Dice Diaries. Take care.